Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. It's just about 8 minutes before 7 o'clock. And this morning, actually October is going to be Credit Union Month. And Community Care Credit Union is celebrating their 70th anniversary this year. And this morning, joining me to chat a little bit about what they have in store for the celebrations this year, I want to welcome the Vice President of the Board of Directors at Community Care Credit Union, Mr. Peter Phillip, as well as the General Manager of Community Care Credit Union, Mr. Kevin Ruiz. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show. Now, first of all, tell me a little bit about Community Care Credit Union. Like, where did you guys start? I mean, it's 70 years, so it's been around longer than Trinidad Independent.
Yes, a rich history. Basically, we started in Waterloo, Capichima, and we were registered as a credit union in 1952. But the credit union operated informally. Before then, there was the workers of West Indian Oil Company.
Right.
They got together and they used to put their monies together, and there was this gentleman, Mr. Clifford McNish, and some others who would go to Port of Spain, purchase goods on behalf of the workers, and then they came and they distributed it. So that sort of philosophy graduated in 1952, making that decision to become a credit union, which, at that time cooperatives were were basically upcoming in the country.
Right.
So they registered as a credit union in 1952. And Lever Brothers, which was a UK manufacturing company, bought out West Indian Oil Company and also Trinidad Refining, which was in Sealots.
Okay.
And in 1964, they moved to Chamfla, where everybody knows Unilever now. So the credit union, the workers graduated there, and the credit union graduated there. And over the years,
so this started off as a union, basically, as a credit union, basically for workers of this company.
Of this company.
And then has it expanded beyond this company?
Yes, it expanded, and in those days, the company was about 800 workers, so we were close band.
Right.
But over time, attrition and then restructuring, we started to see a drop in the workforce, knowing that sooner or later, if action wasn't taken, we would no longer be a credit union. So the band started to open basically to family members, and then in around 2000, we expanded it to the community. Things were changing at Levers, and we realized that at that time we were on the compound and Levers, and due to health and safety and all this sort of thing, we realized that we'd have to move. So the board took a decision to start to look outside for a property to buy a property to build a credit union.
Right. And now here we are in 2022. We have a general manager in the form of Mr. Kevin Ruiz. Kevin, tell me, in terms of the growth of the credit union over the years, I mean, you fairly recently came on board.
Yes, he's
right? Yes. But what inspired you to want to be a part of this credit union?
Well, I think overall, when we look at our jobs and so forth, we must look at jobs that are fulfilling and what we want to do within a community, and that's why we call it community care, is really look at our members and see how we can assist our members in times of financial need, which we've seen a lot of during the COVID-19 pandemic. So one of my reasons for moving would really be to work. I've worked in education and retail and other areas, always helping people. So I think that's really has been my mantra.
Yeah.
And we try to fulfill that in our We Care motto, that we care about our members and their well-being. And of course, extended now to the bond of everyone within the community.
All right. Now tell me, why would somebody want to become a member of Community Care Credit Union?
The Community Care Credit Union, we offer online banking, so you can do your online banking. We have a help desk system that allows members to be able to access services, not necessarily having to come into the branch. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, members can call in, they can send us an email, and we have tried to reuse this technology throughout the organization to be able to be customer focused using IT.
All right, nice. I understand you guys have something called a joint credit union committee.
Okay.
What is that?
That's a collaboration. Well, one of the principles of cooperatives is cooperation among cooperatives. So in around 2010, we had a collaboration with Aero Services, UE Public Services, but it was more a social sort of, it was sports basically.
Okay.
So about 2 years ago, we took the decision to go further, take it further, do something more. And so we formed this committee made up of Aero Services, UE Credit Union, and Community Care,
right,
where we would say, well, provide better service to members overall, and we can come together, probably share courses in training, education, also even purchasing materials, purchasing materials that the credit union use. We could do it in bulk and
it would be so it kind of reduce your overhead costs in general, and you get to actually have a community of credit unions.
Exactly.
Cooperation among cooperatives.
One of the things that we are bringing to fruition right now is that any member of Community Care, Aero, or Uni, or UE Credit Union can go to any of those credit unions and withdraw monies from their accounts.
Ah, okay.
That would probably in the next 2 months would be solidified.
All right, no problem. So we're celebrating 70 years this year. GM, tell me, what's the plans?
Well, we're looking at Credit Union Month in October to have these celebrations. So we're looking at a Members Week to be able to have celebrations for members regarding. We do it all the time, every 2 months or so. As a matter of fact, today being tomorrow being Corpus Christi, we are giving out some plants to our members today. So
nice.
That might rush them down to ranches today. But at the end of it all, really, what we try to do is keep in touch with our members. I mean, that's one of the things that we try to stress on a lot, the community.
Right.
We work and have our 2 locations, one in Currap and one in Faizabad. So at Currap, we are at the corner of Southern Main Road and Bush Street, Currap, and in Faizabad at 255A Guapo Main Road. So we try to reach all elements of the community. So as part of our celebrations, what we are trying to do is bring awareness.
Right. Awareness to what? So just the credit union?
Awareness to the credit union, awareness to what the credit union movements are, how the credit unions and banks differ, that awareness to allow members to be able to understand what an investment they have. Because it's
Give me one example of how credit unions and banks differ.
I would say that in terms of the credit unions and bank, we are a membership-based driven organization. So we're not all
apply
about
to become a member of the bank too.
Right, but of course, in terms of the end of the year, we give dividends and based on the shareholdings that you have. So obviously, that's the difference. I mean, the amount of shares that you have within us, you're allowed to invest with us and, of course, get returns. You're also able to take loans. You're also able to get comparative rates. And we work with our members.
So essentially, as a credit union, you become a part owner of the business.
Correct, yes.
All right. If people want to become a member, how can they contact you guys?
Well, we have, as Kevin told you, we are online.
Right.
So you can go into our website and there are forms there.
You have the website?
Yes, it's communitycarecu.org. Communitycarecu.org.
And you can register to become a member online?
You can register to become a member online. Sorry?
What's the criteria? Like,
what we need to have is basically 2 forms of ID, a job letter, and a proof of address. That's basic.
I don't need to be in working within one of those industries that you mentioned, whether it be UE or aerospace.
No. Because we are open band now, there's no limit.
If you'd like, you can look at us on our website as well, communitycarecu.org.
Right.
And we're on Instagram and Facebook at communitycare, COMMCARE,
Community Care CU on Instagram, Facebook, and the website is communitycarecu.org.
No, COMMCARE CU.
Comcare CU is the Instagram and Facebook. All right, nice. And just before we wrap up, I mean, with a name like Community Care, right? I would imagine there's lots of corporate social responsibility that you guys would have to be taking part in. Can you just give me, like, quickly before we wrap up, like 1 or 2 examples of some of the things that you've been working on?
Well, we have been working on for members who have been suffering loss during the particular period. We have given them delinquent members who may become delinquent. We are working with them on something called Skipper Pay, where you are allowed to skip up to 2 months' payments on your loan.
Okay.
And that is one of the areas that we look at. And also in terms of working with the community, we have been looking at laptop initiatives, which we've done with all the primary schools throughout the area, especially with the onset of the COVID-19 and online learning. So we've done that as well.
Okay, nice. Before we go, you all do small loans only? You do like mortgages and stuff like that?
Oh, no, we do mortgages as well, everything.
Everything?
Vehicles, everything. Yes. And for our 70th anniversary, we have a 70-7-7 promotion, 70,000 for 7 years at 7%.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to check them out. Community Care Credit Union celebrating their 70th anniversary this year and giving back as any community care should. Yeah?
Thank
I want
you.
to thank you so much for joining us this morning. General Manager of Community Care Credit Union, Mr. Kevin Ruiz, and Vice President of the Board of Directors of Community Care Credit Union, Mr. Peter Phillip. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. My tongue got tired. But we take a quick break and we come back with more on the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned.